With all the upcoming city building games in 2024, I know many of you are just thinking about the Roman Empire. I've spent ages compiling dozens of new city builders, but for this list, do you have what it takes to be Caesar? Let's find out, and welcome to the most anticipated city building games set in ancient Rome in 2024. Pax Augusta. This really seems to be a project of passion, and it seems to have a lot of promise. In this game, you be a part of important decisions within the Roman Empire. You build up a prospering city, you take care of your citizens, trade goods or earn money to build impressive monuments, and hire advisors. Secure your city, increase your power to become the Senate, and maybe even the next emperor. Generally speaking, this game looks really good so far. A lot of buildings have been recreated one-to-one to how they historically looked. It's promising a sandbox mode, a story mode developed by a historian. There's defense and military with towers and gates. You will be fighting fire, crime, and population uprisings. There are also barbarians to deal with, legions to manage. Huge maps are being promised from Britannia to Dacia, and so much more. Visually speaking, it does look pretty decent, maybe a bit grim and dark, which does sort of feel a little bit early 2000s, but you know, it seems to be coming along quite well. So for Roman city builders, this one is definitely one to watch, and at the moment it's just set to release sometime in 2024, so we will see how Pax Augusta comes together. For a low poly Rome, Nova Roma. The glory of Rome is at your fingertips in this city building game where you must appease the gods, enact laws, and develop complex supply chains to meet the needs of your citizens. Now, I know a lot of you are put off by low poly, but some of you aren't, and this one has some interesting mechanics, most notably the god powers and god interactions, and also the fluid dynamics of water. You do actually have to manage the flow of water with your aqueducts and dams, and if that's messed up, then flooding can occur. So the idea with low poly graphics is that it's supposed to allow for more complex simulations, and that seems to be the objective here in Nova Roma, where it just has a lot going on. We had a quick look at this earlier in 2023, but nothing really proper so far. And Nova Roma is set to release sometime in 2024, which is when we should get a better look and to see if Nova Roma can actually live up to all the promises. Hey, now that you're a bit into the list, I'm sure you're enjoying it, so it would be greatly appreciated if you can like the video. Thank you! Alright, next game. Now this one isn't quite as ancient as the others, but it is HistoriCity Florence. This is a historical, mission-based, stylized 3D city builder set in Renaissance Florence. You use the strength of your economy, the power of religion, and the beauty of classical art and architecture to rebuild a city decimated by the Black Plague and civil unrest. This one is promising classic city building gameplay, where you manage resources, expand your city, construct buildings, plan infrastructure, and balance the needs of your populace. There's supposed to be a set of challenging missions, which is nice to see in city building games. There's an economic simulation with workers establishing industries, trade, and all of that, including budgets and taxes. There's legendary artists. You have to deal with the plague. Religious fervor can be a problem. You'll be constructing historical landmarks and progressing through technological advancements, because this is Renaissance, so there's a lot being discovered. Or rather, rediscovered, I suppose. Generally, it seems like a cool idea, and there's a lot going on, though it is also a kind of a low poly approach, which is up to you to decide whether you like it or not. It does still seem to have a lot of detail once a lot of things are constructed. But yeah, it's supposed to release sometime Q1 in 2024, so we shouldn't be waiting too long for HistoriCity Florence. And then I have to talk about one which we haven't really seen anything, but it has been announced. It's called CITADELUM. This is supposed to be a city building strategy management game about building, expanding, and trading while you win the favor of the gods in ancient Rome and dealing with all of its myths and the people. Under the watchful eye of the gods, you'll be building up your village to thriving levels and expanding your civilization over the world through trade or mighty legions. Now, I could tell you what the game is supposed to be about, but honestly speaking, we haven't seen anything besides some screenshots of some characters, of some buildings, and of, the key art. So this is definitely going to be an ancient Roman city builder. Really, we don't know too much. It's gonna have to be one to watch as we go into 2024, which is when it's supposed to be releasing in some form at least. Maybe early access, maybe full release. We just don't really know too much. Having said that, this is from the developer of One Military Camp, which was a relatively successful game. That was more of a base building management kind of game, but it had quite a bit to it, so it was nice to see that. We'll just see if that can translate and improve into an ancient Roman city builder with CITADELUM. And then for one that we've been watching for a while, but it is supposed to be releasing, it's called Roman Triumph. This is a Roman strategy city builder where you must build a thriving city from the ground up, you manage resources and people, and survive against a plethora of threats, including gods, the Hydra, the Minotaur, barbarians, and more. So this is kind of a military survival city builder where you are trying to just hold your own against these giant monstrous threats. Over time, you'll be creating your own little empire, designing your city in a randomly generated world, not just to make sure everyone is fed and satisfied, but also it's designed in a way that is beautiful and defensible. Because over time, the attacks will become increasingly more dangerous and threatening. And don't forget the gods. If you don't keep them happy, terrible things will happen. There will also be researching of technology, growing crops and raising animals, a whole multitude of Roman buildings to build, including the Hospitium, Insula, Senate, trading with other cities for resources. And this one isn't a campaign with missions, it is a procedurally generated world, but with supposedly realistic landscapes and beautiful nature for you to tame. Now, it all sounds really cool, but we have been watching Roman Triumph for years. But it is set for a 31st of July 2024 release date. A specific date has been set. We will have to see if they're able to stick to it. And finally, we get our hands on this game that has been promising a lot for a long time. There you have it. Press the like button and use the GOG referral link below to support videos like this one. Just click the link and buy any game. It really does help. Thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members who really support this channel. Join if you want your name on future videos. If you want to stay in the know for another genre, go to the next list video linked on screen, because city builders are simulation games and you'll likely enjoy all the other tycoon, building, and sim games we have in store. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.